Hello Power Rangers Lightning Collection fans, and welcome back to Toku Topics. Today we are finally getting to continue my Wave 14 reviews with the Dino Fury Blue Ranger figure. So this has kind of been a long time coming, even though this figure did just release, but we haven't taken a look at a Wave 14 figure since February when we looked at Mesagog, and that was back at the dorm location and everything. So that one came out in Singapore so early. The rest of the wave is only coming out right now. So we have it. So the next one I got here in the mail today, which I got from Amazon, was the Dino Fury Blue Ranger figure. So this is our third member of the Dino Fury team to join the Lightning Collection, following Izzy from Wave 13 and Zato from Wave 11. So they're definitely well on their way of completing this team, or at least half completing this team. So this is a fun one, because this is one that we saw a lot of different leaks for. We had that prototype that was sold on Facebook back in like September or October. Of course, Tom Whalen had artwork done for this figure that was present on the Power Morphicon Ranger poster, but as you can see, the finished product does not include it. It was never shown to include it. That was just kind of a weird situation there. So that was before the changeover to plastic free. I think he did some art that did not get used, unfortunately. So we have it here. It looks good. It looks really good, actually. For a character that is not my favorite member of the team, and this is not necessarily my favorite of the Dino Fury suits, it's a really solid figure. So let's go ahead and take a look at it here. So here, of course, there's a nice look at the box with the name and the glossy render and the artwork, which I do like this artwork. It's continued, of course, on the side, just like all the plastic-free era boxes. Has the Dino Fury logo there. Has the helmet render, Dino Fury blue, all that kind of stuff. All that stuff there. And on the back, of course, it's the same render as on the front. And you can see here, of course, you get the figure, the helmet, the Chroma Fury Saber, an effect piece you've had before, and some swappable hands. So, you know, pretty standard Lightning Collection things, although that Kai Moya head that we get for Ollie is really, really good. So, this is an empty box. I've already opened this figure because I just wanted to make sure that he actually had all of his accessories, and actually was not like a broken figure or anything like that, because that's what you have to do. With Lightning Collection these days, you never know what you're actually getting inside it, and you don't know how the quality control is going to be, so let's go ahead and take a look at Dino Fury Blue. So here's Ollie out of the box with everything that he comes with. This is a really solid figure, and so far with Mesagog was already a fantastic figure, and so is this one, and I think the other two that I don't have just yet, Lost Galaxy Pink and Dino Thunder Black, is making this wave a really, really good one in terms of, honestly, pretty good quality control, good likenesses for the most part, good accessories. Like, this is what you would come to expect a good Lightning Collection wave to be, and I really don't have too many problems with this figure, like, whatsoever. So we'll go ahead and start just taking a look at it here. It actually is not a pinless figure, because this is essentially just a mold reuse or a repaint of the Zato figure from Wave 11, which makes perfect sense. So I guess if we ever get Javi and Ion, I suppose, because yeah, history would be the same, I would assume that they would probably just use the same body mold here. And not have them be pinless, which I think, if I remember correctly, Izzy was pinless. I'm pretty sure. Actually, I could just check real quick, because I have her sitting right here for later on in the video. Yeah, she's pinless, so that's what I thought. So he is not, but that's fine. It doesn't really bother me whatsoever. In fact, I actually prefer it, because that means this dude is not wobbly, his legs aren't loose, he's not wiggling all over the place. That was kind of funny, because I took him out of the box, and I'm like, this is a sturdy figure. There's not joint problems on this one. And I go, oh, because it's using the old joints that were actually good. So that's how. And that means he doesn't have the drop down knee joint or the thigh joint there and stuff like that. So it's a good figure. I like it. My only complaints is that mine has a little bit of some paint rub there, where the lightning bolt kind of meets the chest there. And this is not necessarily a problem with this figure, but I still don't like how kind of thin and squished this line is. That's kind of a problem with Zato's that they just continued here, so I can't fault the Ollie figure for that specifically. I just don't like that design of it there on Lightning Collection. But besides that, it's perfectly good. Just like all the plastic-free packaging ones, it comes with the head packaged on there. And wow, like of all of the facial technology, in terms of, because they actually get to scan like the current cast, so Beast Morphers and Dino Fury got their heads like actually scanned. Everybody else just has to kind of use like archival footage or press photos. That is really impressive. That is like a really impressive one. Out of the three Dino Furies, this is easily the best one. Honestly, it's probably one of the best ones we've ever had for Lightning Collection. Probably in the top 5. I really see it there. I think it's done really, really good. So there is his head sculpt. Now, of course, we can actually swap it and put the helmet on there. Maybe, if the joint doesn't want to just fold back. And there is the helmet on there, which is also painted very nicely. There's no like silver piece there, like the original basic figure had. It's sculpted really nicely, it's painted really nicely, so I have no problems with how that turned out. So there is the completed Dino Fury Blue in the full Ranger suit, so there is that. So out of the box, he comes with one holding hand and one of those like kind of splayed open hands, which I think were the same ones that Zato's had, which makes perfect sense. But of course you get some swappable hands here, so you get a fist for the blue hand for the right hand, and then for the left hand you get a corresponding kind of a holding hand that goes like with the one that's on this one. So there's that. Now his only weapon is of course the Chroma Fury Saber, which once again I can't fault him specifically for this, but because of how it's packaged in the plastic free, it is all bent out of shape, just like Izzy's was. So that's just going to keep happening, because Hasbro refuses to put a little piece of cardboard in between them like they do for G.I. Joe. I don't know why they don't do that, because every single sword is going to come bent like that. But there's that, and then you get this yellow effect piece, which I'm pretty sure we've had this one before. In fact, I'm almost 100% sure we've had this one in possibly this exact color before. I'm sure they probably have. So I like the effect pieces, I always have. And there is the one that we get with him. But that's pretty much it. Like, he's a very simple figure. He's exactly what you expect him to be. And he just kind of is a little bit a step above that because of the fact that his head sculpt is so good, and that there's really no quality control problems with him besides things like this. But that's just not really a fault of the figure, like I say, because it's essentially just a Zato repaint. So let's go ahead and bring in the Dino Fury team that we have so far and kind of wrap it up here today. So here is Power Rangers Dino Fury so far in the Lightning Collection. So Wave 14 is really good about either completing teams or adding to teams, obviously, that we've already started. So I really like this. We're halfway complete, kind of, technically. I mean, you can kind of make the argument that Dino Fury should have 7 with Void Knights, and of course there's Cosmic Fury and stuff like that. So like even when we get the whole team, is it really going to be like complete, you know? This is currently the only officially announced and also leaked Dino Fury figures. We don't have any other ones that we know about so far. So hopefully we're going to get black, gold, and pink sooner rather than later. Hopefully with Cosmic Fury around the corner, they're going to want to do that. We also don't have Zato's like new Ranger form from the end of the season 2, like his White Ranger form. So hopefully we get more Dino Fury figures. I think this team is looking pretty good so far. I still don't think that Lightning Bolt looks that great on any of them, and I know the Izzy figure kind of has some problems, but you know, for some people and stuff like that. But for the most part, I think this team is coming along reasonably nicely in the Lightning Collection, and I just kind of noticed that he kind of has a more dull gray on the helmet there compared to Zato's. That was more of a metallic silver on the helmet, so that's kind of unfortunate. I think Izzy's even is like a metallic silver, so that's a little unfortunate, but it's not that big of a deal. It took me a little, you know, good minute to even notice that. So I think this team is coming along nicely. I'm happy with how this figure turned out, and it's just another good member of Wave 14. And with that, that is going to do it for my review of the Power Rangers Lightning Collection Wave 14 Dino Fury Blue Ranger figure. Highly recommend it. It's probably my least favorite figure in Wave 14, but that doesn't mean that it's a bad figure. I just think the rest of the wave, due to the fact that half of it completes teams, and Mesogog is one of my ultimate favorite villains, and I'm really happy of how his figure turned out. This is just the one that I was the least excited for. But that doesn't mean that it's a bad figure. It's not. It's exactly what you expect it to be if you have the other Dino Fury figures like I took a look at there. I think the Kai Moya head, like I said earlier, is just really, really solid and kind of just makes this figure feel like a step up over kind of more recent releases. And it's a great addition to a fantastic wave. We had to get Ollie eventually, even though he's not one of my favorite Rangers on the team whatsoever. He definitely deserves to be here and to get a release. So I can highly recommend it if you like Dino Fury, if you're collecting everything, if you like Resoldier, of course, as well. It's a good Resoldier figure if you want to get that too. And I really don't have any problems with it. It's fantastic. So I believe, the last I checked, this is in stock on Amazon, or if it's not, it will be coming back into stock soon, because that's where I got mine. So there will be an affiliate link for it in the description below, which if you use that, it will help out the channel. And of course, until next time, I love hearing your guys' thoughts down in the comments below about this figure. Anything about Resoldier, Dino Fury, Lightning Collection, I want to hear about it. And you can follow me on Twitter at LivingRangerKey or at LightningFigPR, and I will see you all later. To wrap up this video, I'd like to thank my $5 and above patrons: Jurassic Samurai, Maggot Alchemist, Robert Browning, Static Thunder, Brendan Overland, Maji Yellow, MCPC Studios, Comics 1017, James Darty, John Luke, Eric Berry, Tyler Bezetsky, Matthew Thorne, Josh Landry, Pyramidus, CPT Tesla, Cross SCV, Caboose Ed, Socket Monsters, Anthony Love, Daniel Pika, Hella Geo, Thrasher, Jesus Prime, and Uni Warrior Thomas. You can support Toku Topics for as little as $1 a month on my Patreon, linked in the description below.